What if the most profound secrets of human history lie hidden in plain sight, etched in our oldest texts, dismissed as mere myth or simply too extraordinary to comprehend? What if the answers to humanity's greatest questions whisper from the pages of ancient scriptures, challenging everything we thought we knew about our origins? Today, we journey into a mystery that spans civilizations, a figure so enigmatic, he defies conventional explanation. A king, a priest, and a being whose very existence compels us to rethink the very dawn of civilization. Our journey begins in the turbulent world of ancient Canaan, as recorded in the book of Genesis, chapter 14. This was a time of brutal power struggles, when nascent city-states vied for dominance. The stage is set with what history records as the War of the Nine Kings. On one side stood a coalition led by Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, a powerful overlord from the east, along with his formidable allies, Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasa, and Tidal, king of Goyim. Arrayed against them were the 5 kings of the cities of the plain: Bera, king of Sodom, Bershah, king of Gomorrah, Shernab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, also called Zor. The Eastern Coalition, led by Chedorlaomer, proved devastatingly superior. They swept through the region, conquering territories and subjugating the local rulers for 12 years. In the 13th year, kings of the plain rebelled, leading to a decisive battle in the valley of Siddim. The outcome was a crushing defeat for the 5 kings, with many of their people falling into bitumen pits. Among the captives was Lot, Abraham's nephew, who had chosen to settle near the prosperous but morally corrupt city of Sodom. Lot and his family, and all their possessions were carried off as plunder by the victorious eastern kings. News of Lot's capture reached Abraham. Despite not commanding a vast army or kingdom, Abraham, displaying remarkable resolve, gathered his trained men, a mere 318 of his household servants, and pursued the victorious coalition all the way to Dan. Under the cover of night, Abraham launched a daring surprise attack, routing Chedorlaomer and his allies, recovering all the plunder, and rescuing Lot and his household. It was immediately after this extraordinary victory, as Abraham was returning from the slaughter of the kings, that a figure emerges, not a conquering ally, not a defeated foe, but a presence utterly unique. His name is Melchizedek. Melchizedek is introduced with profound, yet sparse detail, king of Salem and priest of God Most High. He brings forth bread and wine, offering them to Abraham, an act of blessing that seems both sacramental and profoundly significant. And Abraham, in turn, bows before this unique individual and offers him a tithe, a tenth of everything he had recovered from the battle. Consider the weight of this exchange. Abraham, the recipient of divine promises, the progenitor of nations, a man of immense stature, pays homage to this stranger. This encounter predates the law of Moses by centuries, predates the establishment of the Levitical priesthood. Melchizedek's authority is not derived from human lineage or established religious tradition. It appears to be inherent, supreme, and recognized by the great patriarch himself. Centuries later, bread and wine would become the central ritual of Christianity. But here they appear first, not in Rome or Jerusalem, but in the hands of a priest no one could explain. But here's where the enigma surrounding Melchizedek deepens into the truly perplexing. The Bible, a sacred text meticulously detailing genealogies, tracing every significant figure's lineage, their fathers, mothers, and descent, offers absolutely no such record for Melchizedek. The Epistle to the Hebrews, a New Testament text grappling with Melchizedek's profound significance, explicitly states in chapter 7, verse 3, that he is without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life. This is no mere oversight. In ancient cultures, lineage was identity. It conferred power, legitimacy, and priestly authority. For Melchizedek to be described in such terms, as if his very existence transcends human biological norms, is a deliberate and monumental statement. Even his name and title hold layers of meaning. Melchizedek in Hebrew means "my king is righteousness" or "king of righteousness." He rules Salem, which means peace, and is widely recognized as the ancient precursor to Jerusalem, whose name is often interpreted as foundation of peace or city of peace. So he is the king of righteousness and king of peace, in the very city destined to become the spiritual heart of a nation, and indeed, a faith. Yet, his own origins remain utterly unrecorded. In a world obsessed with lineage, Melchizedek appears like a shadow, present and real, but untethered to earthly bloodlines. This profound anomaly, this appearance of a highly revered, lineageless benefactor, is not confined to the biblical narrative. Across the globe, ancient civilizations recount strikingly similar stories of beings appearing suddenly, seemingly from unknown origins, possessing extraordinary knowledge, and bestowing wisdom upon early humanity. In ancient Sumerian texts, we find the Apkallu, beings like Oans, described as emerging from the primordial waters to teach humans writing, law, and the arts of civilization. They are often depicted in forms that are part human, part fish, or wearing strange garments, clearly not of typical human biology, and appearing from a non-terrestrial domain. Across the Atlantic, in Mesoamerica, the revered deity Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, is credited with bringing agriculture, astronomy, and advanced societal structures to his people. He is often described as light-skinned and bearded, a benevolent civilizer who promised to return. His divine origin and sudden appearance resonate with Melchizedek's mystery. From ancient Egypt, the very first kings, the Shemsu Hor, or followers of Horus, are sometimes described in enigmatic terms as semi-divine beings who initiated civilization, astronomy, and advanced building techniques. Their origins are often shrouded in celestial mystery, arriving before the conventional dynasties. These beings aren't just cultural archetypes, they are memory traces, fossils of forgotten contact. These are not isolated myths, they are recurring patterns, figures of unknown, often non-human origin, appearing at pivotal moments of human development, offering knowledge, structure, and guidance. They seem to operate by a superior order, a blueprint for civilization far beyond the common understanding of the people they encountered. This begs the ultimate question: what if these seemingly disparate narratives, spanning continents and millennia, are fragments of a single, unifying truth? Melchizedek is called priest of God Most High. But who or what is this Most High? The phrase implies a being above kings and prophets, above empires and laws. But above in what sense? Above in moral stature, or in literal height, in origin and domain? The term God Most High in Hebrew is El Elyon, but the same idea echoes across cultures. Elohim, Dinger, Anu, Adam, Zeus. All ancient words tied not just to divinity, but to the sky, the stars, the heavens. And in nearly every mythology, the highest gods dwell not among us, but above us. They descend, they appear, they intervene. Is this simply poetic language, or a fragmented memory of beings who once came from above, cloaked in language we now call religion? Let's re-examine the facts we've gathered through this extraordinary lens. Melchizedek, without father, without mother, without genealogy. This isn't a theological metaphor for pre-existence. It's a profound description of a being whose biology, whose origins, are simply not of this earth. He isn't bound by human birth and death cycles, because he belongs to a different species, a different evolutionary path, a non-terrestrial origin. His title, King of Righteousness and King of Peace in Salem, then takes on a deeper meaning. He isn't just a local ruler. He's a representative of a highly evolved, benevolent civilization. God Most High could refer to the supreme intelligence of this interstellar collective, or even a sophisticated governing entity from their world. Melchizedek's role as priest might signify his function as a spiritual or scientific guide, imparting universal laws, principles of righteousness or cosmic order, and ways to achieve peace on a developing planet. The bread and wine offered to Abraham could be interpreted as a symbolic gesture of sustenance, a sharing of advanced agricultural knowledge, or even a demonstration of synthetic nourishment techniques. Simple yet profound acts from a technologically superior visitor intended to foster Earth's nascent civilization. And Abraham's tithe? It's not just religious homage, but recognition of superior intellect, technology, and authority, a voluntary tribute to a galactic mentor. And what of Psalm 110 verse 4, the prophecy of a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek? This isn't just about a future king. It points to a continuing cosmic blueprint. Melchizedek established an order, a set of principles, perhaps even a pre-programmed directive or philosophical lineage, intended to guide humanity's development. This order is eternal, not because Melchizedek is a deity, but because the universal laws and the mission of his civilization are timeless. The order isn't just a religious concept, it's a cosmic network, a priesthood of watchers, emissaries, perhaps even engineers, returning at turning points in Earth's story. The figures like Oannes, Quetzalcoatl, and the Shemsu Hor then become other emissaries, other teachers following the same order, appearing when civilizations were ready to receive further instruction. Even biblical accounts like the sons of God in Genesis 6, who descended and intermingled with human women, producing extraordinary offspring. This, for many, is a literal account of genetic influence and the seeding of human potential by these very visitors. Melchizedek, therefore, is not merely a biblical enigma. He is a profound clue. His story, when viewed through this expanded lens, transforms from a theological mystery into a compelling account of humanity's true genesis, a history profoundly influenced, guided, and perhaps even initiated by visitors from the stars. The God Most High he served, and the order he established, might just be the echoes of an ancient encounter, a cosmic pact that shaped our very existence. The facts are there, recorded in our oldest texts, woven into our oldest myths. The interpretations, however, are for us to ponder. What if humanity's future is not just about reaching for the stars, but remembering when the stars reached for us? We were not alone at the beginning. The question now is, will we recognize them when they return?